Hello everyone. We're going to run through the operation of the soldier safety application developed for the Fed Form. Now the application itself does leverage two sensors, both the TI sensor tag and the MS band. Both the EvoThings bridge and the MS band bridge need to be running on your iPhone. There's a couple of changes to the bridge to get the sensors to communicate with the application, and specifically they are, as I launch the MS band bridge, it's going to prompt you for a MS band name. Simply change the name or enter the name soldier. On the EvoThings bridge, once I launch it, there's two changes that need to be made. You can change the group name. We're going to change it to MS band group. That's lowercase ms, capital B band, capital G group, and the actual sensor name to soldier. So ultimately, we'll have one sensor listed in our active soldier list, and the application will, at that point, be ready for operations. A couple of points of interest to make. This was built strictly in HTML5. So if I need to take this application and display it on an iPad and pass it to others who want to view and play with the application, feel free to do so. It should work just fine. There's no special 3D viewer that needs to be loaded onto the iPad or to another device. I think that's very important in the fact that we're not going to have those kind of viewers on a mobile device in the field. It's also built on the IoT platform that Solution Experience has leveraged for the TI sensor tag demonstration. So some of the neat functionality like sending an SMS message or launching an event in the application based upon a sensor threshold can also be executed. If you need more specifics on sending an SMS message or generating a text message for someone in the audience, please feel free to reach out. So I'm going to select the soldier sensor and then press the next button. Once we press the next button, our scene will paint. Now the scene is pretty self-explanatory. There's an obstacle course and a series of buildings. We have two groups of soldiers, Group 1 and Group 2. Our focus will be around Group 1, and specifically around Group Ryan, or Private Ryan. Notice in the lower left-hand corner we have a series of buttons. We can run our soldiers from Group 1 through its exercise by pressing the Run Group 1 button. Notice the application is also narrating, so we can pause the audio if we do not wish to hear the narration, and we can hit play again and it'll continue the narration of the application. If you do choose to have the narration on, let the intro play through to completion before executing the run of Group 1, just so some of the audio doesn't collide with some of the events that actually happen in the application. If I do pause my audio and I have no narration, please take note that one of the alerts that are generated are flashed to the screen, and it's also spoken. So we won't hear the actual alert, but we will see the actual alert. So I'm going to run Group 1 through its exercise. Now, each one of the soldiers are represented by these color-coded dots, and it's just so much easier to have a series of dots as opposed to a generic uniformed soldier, just so we can distinguish one soldier from the other. So I'm going to run Group 1 through its exercise. Notice they start at the obstacle course, they run through the obstacle course, and they move from the obstacle course to the building. Now once they get to the building area, they enter the building, and ultimately Private Ryan will be in the wrong location. Notice there are two enemies in each corner. Soldiers enter the building, and then Private Ryan goes to the wrong location. So an alert has been generated. Private Ryan is in the wrong position. So we can close this, and the sergeant can begin to examine some vitals about his group simply by selecting the header of the legend that says Group 1. I select it, and notice Private Ryan has an alert that needs more attention. We also have our heart rate for the group itself. Now this is a self-generated or a generated value that we do within the application, because obviously we're dealing with 4 soldiers at this point, and based on their averages. We also have average respiratory rate, distance from vehicle, and skin temperature. We also have the average hours of sleep, location of all my soldiers, and specifically a single soldier, or my this actual group itself. You can see as I hover over the flag in the Google map, it says soldier. Now, again, we mentioned that Private Ryan has alerts. So if we click on Private Ryan at this point, we get specifics about Private Ryan. So at this point, we're actually reading the readings or displaying the readings from the MS band that I have on my wrist currently. So we have the skin temperature, some vitals about the soldier or Private Ryan, and his actual heart rate. So I can make these things change by either racing or getting my heart beat to race, or my skin temperature by simply moving my MS band around and generating some friction on the skin to get the skin temperature to change. We got the average respiratory rate and the average hours of sleep. So you notice Private Ryan doesn't get much sleep. He only has about 6.4 hours of sleep. Again, we can go into some of the specifics about the actual screen itself and sort of explain to the audience what is being displayed here. But the important ones here are heart rate and skin temperature and average respiratory rate. Now, to return back to the screen, just simply hit the previous screen button. In addition, we made a soldier's view of the application. It has been mentioned that a soldier would like to record some of their exercises as they perform them throughout the day and what a soldier may see within the application. To access that portion of the application, just simply select Private Ryan. So I'm not going to select Group 1, I'm going to select this specific soldier, which is Private Ryan. Notice at this point we get a view that a private or a soldier may get on their mobile device or a device they carry. So we got current heart rate, skin temperature, and respiratory rate. Now this application also is going to record some of their exercises. Notice we have an animated person lying down on the floor with their arms behind their head, and I'm going to mimic some of the actions of that of a sit-up simply by taking my hands and placing them behind my head, and then moving forward with my left elbow towards my right knee. And you notice the man actually moves with me. So as I lay back down, I can bring back forward and do the actual sit-up and then back down. Now if I wish to record these, just simply press the record exercise button, back to the exercise, and then back, and then you can see the actual sit-up being recorded here where it says sit-ups recorded. So it's actually going to record the sit-ups for the soldier themselves. So they don't have to go through the task of recording manual exercises. Now to close this portion of the application, I'm going to simply hit the home button on this iPhone display and we'll go back to the home screen. The push-ups recorded, it's not currently in the application, certainly can be, and the miles recorded obviously are not recorded either, only because I'm not going to run any distance on stage as I perform the application. So the only one being recorded here is the setups recorded. So I'm going to press the home button. We're back to the home application. If I wish to run through another group or run that group again, I simply hit the Run Group 1 button, and it should run through the actual application one more time. If you have any questions about the operation of the application, please feel free to reach out, give me a call, and or make any changes. Be happy to do so. Thank you.